Hi, my name is Harper.
My name is Millie.
And I'm Hugh.
We are the Kansas Tea Party, and we're coming back on our first episode, and we're going to be talking about lifestyle, health, and quality of life, wellness, and benefits of physical activity. What does a wellness lifestyle kind of mean to you guys?
Being physically active and, not getting out of breath.
Maintaining a good diet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being in good shape, looking good.
Okay, yeah, okay. And what do you guys think, the average life expectancy is for men and women, in the U.S., not national, in the U.S.?
79.
Yeah, it's like
For-
mid-70s.
For men or women?
Both.
For both?
75 for men, 80 for women. So
80 for women? Okay. So actually, the current life expectancy in the U.S. is 76 for men and 81 for women.
Yeah.
Since 2015, there has been a spike in deaths among those between their 20s and 30s. What is the common cause of death between 20 and 30-year-olds today? Suicide?
Or accidents.
Accidents, okay.
Car crashes.
Car crashes, yeah. Okay. It's actually suicide and opioid or drug usage that is probably the most two common causes for death between 20 and 30-year-olds. The cause for 44 and up men and women is just hypokinetic disease, which is just the lack of movement or motion. An example of this is actually my father, rest in peace. He was a pastor for many years, and he did a lot of his work prep sitting. He just sat a lot in his office all day working on lessons, because not only was he a pastor, but he did a bunch of different ministries within the church, such as youth ministry, men's ministry, college ministry for the youth and stuff like that. But when he wasn't doing his studies, he was sitting on his couch and eating nacho cheese Doritos and sour cream. That was his guilty pleasure. But due to that, it ended up catching up to him. So some of common signs and symptoms for someone with a poor diet is actually skin pigmentation. You can get really bad blotchy skin. With my dad, he had really bad blotchy skin. His skin was very uncolored and uneven just because of the processed chemicals that are in meat and a lot of the table salt that he consumed, and fats and acids that he gets from dairy and other things. And then on top of that, you have swollen hands and swollen feet, more physical signs and symptoms such as seizuring and heart attacks. He had a couple of seizures and a couple of heart attacks, and he had been in the hospital a couple of times with a coma and stuff. And then it just ended up catching up to him. He went into a coma and never woke up again. And that's because he didn't listen to his doctors, he didn't change his diet, and he did not increase his physical activity. So that alone just kind of proves if you're not doing what's right for your body, then it's going to shut down on you at a very young age. And my dad was pretty young. He was in his 50s, just about to be in his 60s. And ever since then, I have subconsciously been very aware about what I put into my body. I do participate in vigorous activity. I'm in the gym, I would say 7 times out of the 10. And I definitely eat a lot healthier than the average college student. Any thoughts on that? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
No, I completely agree.
You agree?
I completely agree.
You agree?
There's so many studies about the adverse effects of obesity, especially in the country, or a country like the United States, where obesity rates are some of the highest around the world.
When I went to the UK, I don't even think I saw a single fat person walking in the middle of London. I really didn't,
Yeah.
because I'm really quick to notice.
I think it's because in the US, it's
A lot of
not very walkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one walks
Yeah.
anywhere. And in the UK, we don't really have many fast food places.
True.
So already, that's not even really an option.
Mm-hmm.
So for my topic, I'm going to be talking about the effect of technology on our lifestyle, health, and quality of life. So throughout the decades, technology has sort of taken over our lives and made things a lot easier for us, such as streaming services, online shopping, etc. So like what other things do you guys think?
TikTok.
Social media.
Actually, I was talking about this to Emily the other day. One of my favorite things, like top 10 ever favorite things, are automatic doors.
Sliding doors.
Yes, like I can just walk through and it opens for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it makes me lazy, but I love them.
Yeah, on that as well, how do you think technology has sort of adversely affected our fitness?
Because that was a really good one. Like, I never even thought about, like, automatic doors.
Yeah, everything's like automatic these days. Like we really don't have to like.
Yeah, doors.
do much.
I think, like, one that I've noticed is, like, in airports, instead of walking to your destination, they have, like, just, like, the paths where you
Yeah.
can just sit on it.
Escalators, you don't even have to climb the
Escalators,
stairs
you don't have to
anymore.
climb the stairs.
Elevators.
Elevators.
So I chose this topic because I could relate to it. So a lot of my childhood was spent in the Philippines, and I could immediately draw like massive contrast between living in the UK and living in the Philippines. So in places like the UK and the US, like food production and transport is like largely automated. Like they're made in factories, made in like battery farms, and then you like haul it in like a lorry or a truck. But in places like the Philippines, like bananas and mangoes are still grown on trees, and you have to like climb up a tree, pick it, and then like tie it down onto your bike, and then like cycle it down to the nearest like village. So like it was just like eye-opening for me, like how different the two countries are and how much we take for granted. And also like you can see the differences. When we'd stopped on the side of the road to like buy bananas from this like old woman's house, we saw her son like coming out the back of the house to go climb a tree, and he was jacked. Like, and this guy, I don't think he'd ever stepped foot in a gym before, because like
Yeah.
gyms are expensive and Filipinos are poor. So that realization sort of affected the way I like decide to do things. So instead of like sitting inside all day playing video games,
Yeah.
I can just go outside and play basketball, or instead of driving somewhere or taking the train, I can just walk.
Okay, so my topic I'm gonna talk about is the benefits of physical activity. Obviously, that you could like list like an endless amount of benefits. Okay, so first of all, question: what is like one thing you love doing, which like is like does put a strain in your body, like that requires physical activity?
Football or soccer.
Football, soccer, yeah, me too.
Dance. Yeah.
Okay, so then imagine like one thing happens, like one incident in your life, and then you can never do that thing again. Because this is what I saw happen to like, one of my close family friends. She lives a very, very sedentary lifestyle. She's a pretty big woman. So she had an incident about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago now, where she went to step out of her front door, and there was like a gap in the front door and like the floor, and she went to step and she fell, and turns out she went to hospital and she shattered every single bone in her ankle, like completely shattered. But so she went to hospital, and they were like, you have to have surgery to like reconstruct the bones, and they tried to do it, but the breaks were so bad they couldn't piece the bones. They couldn't work out what pieces were which. So then they made her a second surgery appointment, but basically what they had to do is pretty much just fuse the whole ankle. They took out all the bones, put a bunch of nails, and like fused everything. So basically, end of the story is she's never going to be able to move her ankle again. So that's like an experience I've seen like first. It's like my mum's best friend, like someone I grew up with my whole life. It kind of just hits hard. It's like that one like thing. If you're not fit enough to be able to do these like easy daily tasks, like balance yourself or walk down a step, then that one thing could completely change your life. That made me like prioritize physical activity, because in my point of view, quality of life is defined by doing the things I love to do. So in order I want a good quality of life, that's how I want to,
What do you think your quality of life is? Like, what is quality of life?
What is quality of life to me?
Yeah.
Like living without pain. And being able to fulfill basic things that you need to live on your own.
Yeah.
Without the need of like technology or the help of someone else.
High quality of life, being able to just enjoy the little things in life without having to feel like you can't do it.
We are
The
Kansas
Kansas Tea Party!